Hello guys, welcome back to TNA Throwback. We are 2 weeks away from Slammiversary, which is on June 13th. So we got Impact to take care of. Let's review last week's Impact from May 27th. So we start with a recap from last week's show where Anderson reclaimed his #1 contendership by winning a triple threat with Joe and Angle, and Styles turning on Flair. Angle opened the show and complained that Anderson stole his win. He would be #1 contender if it wasn't for how this stuff go. But Anderson pretty much countered his argument, and Angle announced they're facing one-on-one in a lumberjack match in the main event. Flair talked about calling out Styles. Joe and Morgan defeated LAX. Christy, Zach, and Robbie continued their love triangle. Jarrett cut a promo on World Elite and said that he won't let them disrespect veterans like Team 3D. World Elite, representing World Elite, Abyss Bashir and Doug Williams defeated Jarrett and Team 3D. Velvet Sky defeated Terry Terrell via cheating after Madison helped her. Danielson and Aries traded insults and got into a brawl. Gunner defeated Ryan McBride, who is a jobber. Generation Me defeated Maple Leaf Muscle, which consists of Steiner and Pete Williams, and RVD attacked Steiner. We continued the Beer Money Generation Me feud. Storm cut a promo on Generation Me. Jeff Hardy and Kazera had no contest in this champion and champion vs champion match when British Invasion attacked Hardy. Magnus cut a promo on Hardy and said that something belongs to him. Hardy has something that belongs to him, the global title. This is the kickstart of their feud. Tara cut a promo on Awesome Kong. AJ beat Alex Shelley via the Styles Clash, and post-match Flair confronted Styles. He said that him turning was a big mistake, so Styles pretty much tried to cheap shot. Flair countered and he bailed. So in this feud, we are trying to put Flair on the babyface side and Styles on the heel side. In the main event, Anderson defeated Kurt Angle after Angle got beaten on the outside by the World Elite. This is a lumberjack match, so this is legal. After the match, Angle pretty much got on Jarrett and Team 3D's side, and they run off World Elite to the back. After all this was settled, Sting came down to the ring, had a stare down with Anderson, raised the world title. This is what happened last week. So, let's move on to June 3rd, and this is the TV show. This is the TNA Impact for... So, we are starting with a recap from last week. So, we're pretty much recapping what happened on the show that I've just recently described, where Anderson beat Angle in a lumberjack match after World Elite messed up. We are opening this show with a Anderson promo. He'll come to the ring and he'll pretty much say that he's done with all the whiners backstage. He's gonna mention Angle and Joe because if you follow the shows, the past 2 weeks, Anderson has been trying to regain his #1 contendership on the Fallout show after he beat Joe at Sacrifice, and then last week he clashed with Angle. So this is out of the way, and we can pretty much continue in a normal mood, building up to the Slammiversary event. Now we got challenge for tonight. So Anderson is gonna be in the ring. He's gonna be all like, you know, I did it. I will challenge Sting now. I will win the world title and shit. And RVD is gonna come out. He's gonna challenge him to a match. This seems kind of random, but they're gonna have an impromptu match, and Anderson is gonna attack him before the match as we go into the match. So he'll gain some heel advantage. What's the purpose of the match? The purpose is that Anderson needs to win because he's a contender for the world title. He has to win and have some credibility. So let's say after the match we got Scott Steiner attacking RVD to promote to pretty much advance their feud. Anderson is gonna beat RVD clean as it can be. Because RVD is not really a top player right now, he's in a mid-card feud with Steiner, and we need Anderson to be strong leading up to the pay-per-view. We can't have Anderson just win by cheating and have him as a credible contender for Sting. So now we're gonna have a match between Jay Lethal and Daniels. Jay Lethal is gonna win when Austin Aries will do a run-in and distract Daniels. So we'll advance this feud between Aries and Daniels. The aftermath is gonna be Aries continuing his assault, and the purpose is gonna be to build up to a future match. So we are to the back where Jarrett is gonna talk with Angle, because you remember what happened last week. Last week, Angle was attacked by the World Elite. So Jarrett will try to... In this segment, Angle is gonna be angry about last week's attack by World Elite, and this costed him the match against Anderson. So Jarrett is gonna pretty much consolidate him and ask him to be on his side. As you can see right now, the feud is Jarrett and Team 3D against the World Elite guys. So in this way, I'm trying to move the World Elite up the ranks, because if you remember in the past when I began to book, it was just a mid-card type of deal, and I said when Bashir beat Jay Lethal that I have big plans for World Elite. So we are slowly trying to build them up so they can move to the main event. We are slowly trying to make the transition, because you can't be a mid-carder one day and just become a main eventer with no build. It's gonna be stupid. So we're trying to build angles around this. The next segment is gonna be kind of weird. Let me just book this match and I'm gonna explain. And if you follow the series from the beginning, you know that I like to have continuity. I don't like doing storylines and not have a good continuation on each show. I think the purpose of booking something is to make sense, have credible storylines. So I really like doing recaps and explaining it, because a lot of people who do fantasy booking just don't explain things right and leave a lot of holes behind. So this is the point of this, is to make everything clear. That's why I'm explaining the show, and that's why I'm doing recaps, and that's why I'm showing the results from last week, so everything is pretty much caught up. There are no questions. So in this segment, as you remember, Danger Dinero lost the global title back at Lockdown. It was Lockdown Sacrifice. I don't really remember. He lost the global title to Jeff Hardy, and pretty much he wasn't on the show for a few weeks. So this segment is gonna be kind of like, this segment is gonna kickstart something big. This segment is gonna be him finding the right path. The right path is gonna be the congregation. So I'm gonna return the gimmick that he did in real life. I really liked the Pope when he was religious. He was a heel. He was saying that he has a congregation. In real life, they pretty much put him in a feud with Joe, and they had some stupid shit to deal with. And he then disappeared. He was wiped off the face of the earth after a match. So I think there is great potential in the Pope being a heel and talk about some congregation. So this is gonna be the start of this. The Pope is gonna find religion again, and this is gonna be the gimmick for him from now on. Jeff Hardy is gonna beat Rob Terry in a singles match, but after the match he's gonna be attacked by Magnus. So this will set up their match. Then we're gonna have a promo by Generation Me. Yeah, Matt and Nick Jackson. I'm setting them up against Beer Money at the pay-per-view. This is a transitional match because I just run a program with Beer Money and the Guns, with Beer Money coming on top. So we need to have a transitional pay-per-view opponent so we can move on to the next big feud for the tag team titles. So next on the show we're gonna have Authority announced, but this is gonna be different. So Angle is gonna pretty much rush Bischoff's office, and he's gonna demand a match with the Abyss tonight. And the match he wants is a Masters Ball, because last week Angle was screwed by World Elite and he wants his revenge tonight, and Bischoff is gonna give it to him. So tonight's main event is gonna be Kurt Angle against Abyss in a Masters Ball match. So next we're gonna have a match. Matt and Nick Jackson, Generation Me, are gonna face against Doug Williams and Bashir, who are members of the World Elite. Right now the members of World Elite are Douglas Williams, Bashir, Kiyoshi, and Abyss. And Abyss is gonna face off against Angle. We just book it. So this match is gonna end no contest because Beer Money are gonna do a run-in and they're gonna attack Generation Me. They're gonna continue brawling. The purpose is gonna be to build up to a future match. So let's see what ratings we got. 93 for Anderson, 89. Anderson RVD had a great match, 84%. Daniels and Jay Leto got 79. 89 for Jarrett and Angle's talking segment, 80% for the Pope. Bad segment for Jeff and Rob Terry, but this is understandable. Actually, this is a good first part of the show. So yeah, Tom Cook has found religion. That sounds like BS. Next segment on the show is gonna be a match between Hernandez and Joe. As you remember, Hernandez is pretty much feuding with Matt Morgan, and they have to wrap up their feud. And Joe, after Joe lost the triple threat 2 weeks ago, he's pretty much floundering. So I have a program for Joe, but it's gonna be after the Slammiversary. Hernandez is gonna win, but he's not gonna win clean. Hernandez is gonna expose the turnbuckle, and pretty much Joe is gonna, you know, the old hitting the turnbuckle with the head, and the referee is not gonna see it, and Hernandez is gonna pick up the win. And after the match, we're gonna have Matt Morgan come out, and Matt Morgan is pretty much gonna tell Hernandez that they're facing off at Slammiversary, and it's gonna be a first blood match. then we have the mandatory love triangle segment between Christy, Robbie, and Zack Ryder. Let's say backstage argument of Christy with Robbie E. So what I got for this segment is gonna be Robbie E. Christy's gonna tell Robbie E that she has a restraining order against him, and he will get arrested if he touches her. So this is all gonna lead to a match at Slammiversary between Robbie E and Zack Ryder. So don't worry, this is a slow build. This is actually a really slow build. So as I have said multiple times, you really can't have all serious storylines. You gotta have Vince Russo style storylines sometimes. We'll have the Gunner squash match per tradition. You know how I'm dealing with the squash matches. I'm just picking a guy on the roster at random, and then I'm just saying it's somebody else in the post-match edit, post-show edit. So next part of the show is gonna be Kazarian coming out. As you remember, Kazarian is pretty much dominating the X division. So Kazarian is gonna come out, and he's gonna talk about that he has a lack of challenges, and he's pretty much above the X division in terms of competitiveness, and he can't really find good wrestlers to deal with. But Bischoff is gonna have a surprise for him, and he's gonna unveil it next week on the Go Home show. Because as far as this week's concerned, we really don't have a next division match set up for the Slammiversary pay-per-view. The next segment is gonna be Flair. He'll come out to the ring. He's gonna demand answers from Styles, because as you remember, Styles turned on him, and Styles is gonna pretty much ignore him. So we'll see what happens next week. Next, we're gonna have a six-women tag. Angelina Love is gonna team up with Tara and Taryn Terrell, which is Tiffany, and they're gonna face Awesome Kong and the Beautiful People, which is a weird combination. Of course, the heels will win. Awesome Kong is gonna pin Taryn, let's say. The next segment is gonna be an interview with Sting. He's gonna talk about Anderson and what an opponent he's facing, and he's gonna say that he'll call him out to the ring next. So after 2 shows of Anderson overcoming the challenges from Angle and Joe, and him doubting his #1 contendership spot, this is gonna be the first confrontation between Sting and Anderson before the pay-per-view. This is gonna be a standard confrontation. They're gonna trade insults. It's probably not gonna end in a brawl, but we gotta build up the world title match. So the main event is next, as promised, Masters Ball, Masters Ball is a hardcore match. Abyss and Kurt Angle in a hardcore match. This match is gonna end clean. Angle is gonna pick up the clean win. I don't really want to have shenanigans. Put on a good match, but the segment is gonna take place after the main event. This is gonna be an ambush. Actually, stable. I guess stable angles is gonna be better. So stable attack singles in ring. World Elite will beat Kurt Angle. And Angle is gonna beat Abyss, and after the match, World Elite is gonna attack Angle, and Jarrett and TNA'10 will make the save. So they're gonna retreat, and this is how we're gonna end this week's show. And something else is you can notice, most of my booking is pretty much chained. I'm running certain storylines, but I'm trying to be consistent. I'm trying to not have random shows. I'm trying to have every show advance certain storylines. So if you miss one episode, it's gonna be a problem because you're not gonna understand what's gonna happen on next week's show. I think this is a problem with recent WWE shows. There's no storyline. You can pretty much always turn on the TV at any time. I mean, not turn on the TV, but you can watch any show from the past month or the past 2 months, and there's no storyline progression. It's just random matches, random promos, nothing to nothing to see, nothing to have some sort of a storyline to look forward to. That's what I liked about TNA back in the day. TNA sucked, I can agree, but when Russo was in charge and TNA was in its inception, when TNA was its good times back in, I guess, 2010, 2011, 2012, he had a great roster, but the shows were interesting. They had a lot of, bullshit on the show, but they were trying to advance storylines. They were trying to be compelling. Right now, we don't see anything like this on WWE. So this episode got a little bit longer, but we will see. In the next episode where I'm gonna book the go home show for Slammiversary, and I'm gonna explain the card. I'm gonna present the matches. So bye for now.